Hello. This week's Parsha is Parsha Bo. In this Parsha, we see Moshe. Um, there's Makot, there's plagues against the Egyptians, and one of them is darkness. In Perek Yud Pasuk Chaf Gimel, which is chapter 10, 20, verse 23 in Exodus, you have this line that says, referring to the Egyptians, Lo ra'u ish et achiv. Man could not see his fellow man. And then I'm going to skip the next part, but in the same pasuk, it says, L'chol b'nei, the Torah says, L'chol b'nei Yisrael hayeh or b'moshvotam. But all the b'nei Yisrael had light in their dwellings. And first of all, I just love that, having light in your dwellings. And the question for me is, I'm seeing in this, I wonder if there's something we could draw out from the Torah about this connection between man being in darkness versus people dwelling in light. And certainly on a literal level, the Egyptian Torah teaches that the Egyptians were in darkness, in deep darkness, but the children of Israel were in light. And it's interesting that the Egyptians could not see their fellow man, a tachiv, could not see their brother, could not see their fellow man, their brother. And but Bnei Israel it was their dwellings, there was all light. And how do you create a dwelling with light? Or what are the qualities of a dwelling with light? And I think there's much to say here, but one of the things that for a dwelling to have light has to have yirat hashamayim, which is fear of heaven or awe or reverence of heaven. There's a quality I don't want to fully get into, but it's about having reverence and respect for God on one level. And that's demonstrated, I think, by having yirat. One of the ways, certainly, it's truly demonstrated, I'd say, is by having yirat ha'adam, fear, awe of a person. Now, this doesn't mean that you see people as the Lord, hash v'shalom, or see them as each person as better than you. But it's saying that I think that means that a person, in order to have a dwelling in a place, a person needs to see each other, see each person as have a certain sort of, reverence for their uniqueness. That they're, just as I'm a child of God, sent by Him on a mission here, each person I meet is a child. You are also a child of God on a mission here. And so there's no hierarchy here. I mean, certainly there's hierarchies in life. I'm not getting into that, but I mean on a soul level, we're each, sent by God for a particular mission, and there should be a reverence for that mission. And one way I think that we can show respect for each other's missions is by not treating each other, or me not treating anyone, as an instrumental thing that's meant to meet my needs, like that. Not to treat people as if they're there to make demands on them, as if they're there to serve me in a way. And I think that that this requires for me at least, a certain ongoing introspection to make sure that I don't do that. So I don't think it's an all or nothing thing here. And certainly there's more egregious forms of this and less egregious forms. But by having yirat ha'adam, by having reverence for the world that is the other person, I then make a space for that person to be who they are. Right? Because no one in my eyes, I don't think people like when people make demands of them, as opposed to asking. Asking's great. Can you please do this for me? Without having some sort of threat involved, or I'll get angry at you, or then you're no good, or I'm gonna, ransom the relationship, or I'm gonna guilt you. Then that person isn't really being respected as an individual who has their own volition. They're being treated as, oh, you're there to be there for me. And that's not a healthy way for people to interact. And in my experience, I think this happened unfortunately more than uh, um, it should, and it's often because I think, well, people might not be aware that it's okay to ask. So it's okay to ask because there's a fear that they might, you know, that they wouldn't get, people wouldn't be there for them otherwise. So, in conclusion, I guess may we each, you know, create those spaces, or look at may we each take this opportunity in this Parsha Bo to look at the different relationships we have in our lives, see like where we're holding in our year at Adam. Do we let them? How much am I letting people grow into who they are? How much am I wanting to assist them? How much am I giving in the relationship? How much am I more of a taking? Do I how much do I have that profound Yirat Adam for a person? And may we continue to grow in our Yirat Shemayim, Yirat Adam, and may we create more light in all our dwellings in all the world. Amen.